question is about invoicing. So can you kind of enlighten me again about how that works, and does it talk to QuickBooks, and how does that all work?
Sure. So there's several different ways that a company can do invoicing. One would be a company who charges one time for a single purchase. So if you were selling candy bars and somebody came to your website and said, I want to buy 5 candy bars, an invoice is automatically generated, they pay it, they get the shipment sent out to them, and that's the end of the transaction. Now the second option for invoicing would be a company that charges a monthly fee for some kind of a service. So maybe it's $200 a month and we'll answer your phones for up to 100 minutes or something like that.
Sure.
So that's one possibility. And so the system has a capability of taking their credit card number, keeping it on file, and auto billing them every month, and auto sending an invoice to them to say, hey, you just paid your bill again. It also has the ability to credit that dollar amount to their account. So you can have people who run on a retainer, and your staff can only clock in if there's still money left on their retainer. Once they run out of money on the retainer, they can top it up, or they can wait till their next monthly cycle to refill that. Now, the third option would be somebody who charges maybe by the hour for their services. And they allow their clients to run negative in their accounts. So we do the service first, and you pay us at the end of the month based on how much time we spent on you. So that's another scenario that is also trackable through AllProWebTools. So my question to you would first be, which of those three category do you fall into?
Right. So how we charge is we charge a flat fee.
Do you have any documentation on your 3 package levels you could pull up on your screen?
Mm-hmm.
I figured you would.
I do. All right. So here's our, this is probably more so what you wanted to see. This is kind of our matrix. So, you know, this is not what we're sending to our clients, but they get that pretty thing that I just put up there. Yeah, but this is our matrix.
So let's take the first one in line there, the basic, which is 20. Now, so it says 2,700, and then it says or 2,500. So explain the difference there.
They get a discount if they pay me in full.
Oh, I see. So they're paying a $225
no matter what,
per month.
Yep.
Okay.
Got it. So that's what comes out to about the 2,700. So if they want to do it monthly, they're going to end up paying more. So.
Okay. So let's go back to AllProWebTools and go to Store, View Products. All right, so create new product. Okay, so we need to create a category. Let's click on Add New. And so I'm thinking like service plans. Now you could break this up and have like basic service plan, VIP service plan.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Whatever makes sense to you. Just leave that alone. You can just go ahead and hit save.
Okay. What's free?
All right, so on the top, let's drop down basic service plan, and then let's give it a name. Now this is going to be whatever you want to call it. You can call it basic, but it's going to say 0 to 50. Yep. I'd still put the words basic service plan in there to prevent confusion. And I would personally probably put basic service plan in the beginning, just so it starts with some words. I think that looks great.
Like that.
So now the price is going to be your, that's the other thing. Up at the top in the name, we're going to have monthlies, and we're going to have whatever you want to call the full pay version. So I'd put at the end of contacts, I'd say monthly. So then for price, let's put what the monthly price is. And then your cost of goods, you can actually kind of estimate, what your hourly rate you're paying out is to allow you to create better reports at the end of the month to understand how much profit you're actually generating.
Okay.
So you just throw a guess in there.
like what I pay
Yeah.
Grace to implement it?
Yeah, for now, and you can adjust it later.
Sure.
So is it just 1 hour of her time to do all of that? 225?
Oh, I
or is
see
that
what
like
you're
2 hours worth of time?
Yeah, I'd probably say it's closer to 2.
There you go. Okay. Now it does require you put in a weight at this point because the system was designed for shipping products. You can just put a 1 in there.
Sure.
And then hit save.
Does it need it now? Okay.
It doesn't. Yeah. All right. So now you have the basic service plan. First thing in the top right, it says taxable. This is not going to be taxable, so you can select no there. And the product type, it's not a physical product. It's a service that you offer. So you want to select service. Now you've got your MSRP, which may be more like $250. They're getting a discount because they're paying. Oh no, they're not getting a discount. So we'll leave that alone.
No, it's the opposite. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. So the rest of this looks about right. So you can click where it says public in the top right, and then hit the save button. All right, so now you have a product that can be sold that is the monthly. Now, we have a shortcut to make this way easier for you to enter the rest of them. So where it says save, if you drop down the drop-down box, go to copy product. So now you don't have to re-enter all that stuff you just did, but this is going to be for the 51 to 100 contacts. And of course, the price changes here.
It's like, what is it?
There you go. And now you can just save that. And does the cost go up, though? Cost of goods?
For that one, yeah. Maybe.
There you go. So you save it. And then, of course, you can copy and keep going with all the different kinds. Now, let's also do the not monthly version. So if you go up to the top where it says Edit Product on the left, right below that it says View Products. That'll take you back to your main products page. So now you can see you have the 2 products there. Let's go back to that. Oh, no, go back.
Oh, sorry.
I'm trying to save you some steps here. If we go to the first one there, it says Contacts Monthly, 0 to 50. All right, so what we want to do is copy this first, and then we're going to convert it into the paid in full version. All right, there you go. So now you can take the monthly off. Perfect. So now you can save it. And so now you have your paid in full version.
Cool.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
That's
so
awesome.
Now that's everything for the basic service plans. Now you also have the VIP, well, not the VIP, you have a premium as the second level, right?
Yep.
Okay. So let's go to create new product. And let's create your other categories by hitting the add new.
We call it service plan. Is that what we called it?
And then save that.
And that's all on here, right?
Yeah. And let's go ahead and add the VIP one too while we're here. Okay. So now if we go back to the view products, we can copy that 0 to 50 again. There you go. So now you have your monthly version, and we can convert that to a premium and then change everything else to be appropriate for that.
Got it. Awesome. You can actually just spend like a day or two creating each one. You schedule it certain date, time,
Perfect.
Cool. Awesome. And then I can just do that for all the rest of them, right?
You got it.
Cool.
So
okay.
Let's just assume that you've entered all that data now, and I'm going to show you how to create an invoice.
Yeah. Okay.
So if we find a customer up in the top with the magnifying glass, so now we're looking at their account, and obviously you've got your notes in the timeline down below. And if you wanted to create an order for them, you can click on New Order. And right there where it says Item underneath Cart, start typing Basic. So now it pulls up all your basic service plans. And right there in description, you're free to fill in any additional information you want to show up on their invoice. Like if they had 2 different accounts or 2 different lists that they're working with for you or whatever, you could put that there. Now, also, you can create discounts on the fly. So if you have your standard $225 rate, but this is a friend of the family, you want to give them 10% off, where it says discount, you can type in 10. Now, it's selected to dollars there to the right of that. So you can put percent, and it'll do 10%, or you can take $10 off, whichever makes sense to you. And then you can click on Add Item, and you'll see all of that get applied. You can see the discount there is for $222.50. And you can just continue to add items onto their invoice until you're done. And then you are required to calculate shipping and tax for all your orders, even if there is no shipping or tax. So you'll want to click that button, and it's going to apply any shipping rules or tax rules that you've created, which obviously don't apply to you because it's all service-based. And you can also enter any coupon codes there. So if this was a phone order, somebody called you on the phone and said, hey, I heard about your service from a newspaper ad that you ran, and I have a coupon here for 10% off. You could say, okay, let me get your coupon code, and you'd enter that in, and it would automatically apply that to the entire order.
Cool.
And it's also, coupons are a great way of tracking where your customers are coming from, so I highly recommend using those.
Sure. Okay, awesome.
And then you can go down just a little bit, and so you've got the total there in really big type, $202.50, and then you can click Create Order. Go ahead and do that. So now you have an actual order for this client, but the order has not been paid. It's just an invoice.
Right.
So at this point, if you wanted to send the invoice to them so they could mail a check to you, you can do that. Now, if they are like, well, I've got a credit card right now, can I read it to you over the phone? You can also handle that as well. But before we do any of that, I want to just kind of show you how it all works. So where it says buyer information number 6, there's a pencil to the right. Click on the pencil. Now that takes you right back to the buyer's account. And so you'll notice in the timeline, the very top shows you a red $sign. And that says new order, $202.50. And if you click on view order details right below that.
Oh, shoot. Sorry. Hold on.
Right. So clicking that will take you right into the invoice, which is very handy sometimes. But you can also, if you want to just get a quick view, like, what's that invoice for? Cool. You can go, oh, I remember that invoice. Now, another thing I'd like to show you, if you go back up to the top and click on Dashboard. You know your dashboard. Probably go there a lot.
Oh, yeah.
The main page. So you know how the dashboard has your timeline. You'll notice at the very top, you've probably seen a lot of like tasks and things going back and forth, but now you have an actual order. So if you're out of the office and Grace places an order, it'll be there. Now also there's a facility for tracking commissions. So if you wanted to start giving Grace a 10% commission for all of the deals she closes, the system will automatically track all that and tell you how much you owe her at the end of the month as well.
Cool.
So let's go ahead and process this order. Now you can see in the timeline it says Dental Hygiene Haven. If we click that link, it'll take us to the client. If we click on the new order link, it'll take us directly to the order. So let's go directly to the order. So let's say it's been 5 days since you, well, actually, we need to email this to the client. So let's click on Invoice Options at the top. So let's click on Print Invoice. If you email it, it'll actually send it to her right now. Now you'll see at the top it says Acme Widget Corporation. That means that we need to get your logo into the template here. There's also a number of other things on this invoice. This might not be how you want your invoices to look, and this is all customizable. But you can see in general there that it's got the information on the product they purchased, any discounts or coupons they used. You'll also notice the click here to pay now. You can actually click on this picture here, and it'll take the client back to your website where they can log in and they can use their credit card on file or whatever it is they need to do to make a payment. Now, you haven't integrated your website to run on the AllProWebTools platform, so we can do that. We can do that at a later time. Yeah, we can just take the design that was created for you and slap it on here, which would add so much more functionality like this thing that I'm showing you here with the invoice. So they'd be able to come back to your website and make a payment. But let's go ahead and hit the back button there. Or I guess it's the previous tab. The one that says order detail.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, I guess. Oh. Anyway, so you can click that invoice options, print invoice, to be able to see what the invoice is going to look like. And once you're ready to send it out, you could actually click the email invoice to customer, and it'll send that to their email.
Okay.
Make sense?
Awesome. Yep.
Okay. So now let's say that they do put a check in the mail to you, and it's been 5 days. So you found their order here, and in the yellow area it says no payments have been received. So we're going to add a payment. So up in the top left it says pay order. And now you have a choice. They can either pay with cash, check, credit card. They can use existing account credits. You can also do an admin override. If you click that admin, don't click it, but if you clicked it, it would actually, it would just give it to them for free, basically. But it'll track it.
I don't want to click that.
Right. So it's kind of like I'm the owner. I want to give this person this discount for whatever reason. You're going to see the admin button. Grace will not see that button.
Got it.
And then there's also bad debt. So you can write off certain invoices that never got paid and you lost money on the deal as a bad debt. So let's say it's a check.
Okay.
So go ahead and click on check. So from here, you can put in the amount of the check payment. So they might even actually overpay you. You can put in the correct amount there. And then also the check number, which makes it a lot easier for you to reconcile payments into your account. And you can go ahead and click on submit. The system will even create deposit slips for your bank based on all the checks you've taken in.
Oh, that's cool.
So now it says invoice has been paid. So we can click the box there. And wait just a second, it's going to reload this page. And now up in the top, you'll see it's green. It says this order has been paid in full. And then down below in payment information, you have record of exactly when it was paid, who processed the payment, see under users, tells you who actually took the check, and you know, you can track things much better as to where the money's going.
Okay. Awesome. So, so then I would still, of course, need to, how then can I integrate it, or can I, with QuickBooks? Because currently I invoice out of QuickBooks.
Right. So as I just demonstrated, you would actually create the invoice here, and you would email the invoice from this system to the customer, and the customer could even pay their invoice directly on your website and enter their credit card number in. So that all happens outside the QuickBooks world. What you can use your QuickBooks for is just for your accounting purposes and creating tax returns at the end of the year. So we've done this a number of times with a number of accountants, and it actually reduces your bill from your bookkeeper, because your bookkeeper doesn't have to manually enter every single customer name and every single payment that came through. What they do is they generate a report at the end of every month in AllProWebTools, which will tell them the totals of all the products that you sold, all the income that came in, and they do what's called a journal entry into QuickBooks once a month. So instead of having to enter data every day, they're doing one very simplified journal entry into your QuickBooks, which keeps all of your accounting records straight, but all of the details as to what exactly was sold to who and when and how and why is all kept right here in AllProWebTools.
Is in here. Got it.
Which at the end of the year...
And then, of course, I presume I can print all of that and have it like as the general ledger, basically.
Yes. So if you go to Reports on the left there, you have a number of reporting systems. So one is the Data Manager. And up in the top... Yeah, go ahead. And up in the top right-hand corner, it says Accounting Downloads. So you'll actually download a spreadsheet of all of the invoices that went out to your customers. If you're selling to wholesalers, you can print those as well. You can also print a report of all the items that were returned to you, all of your bad debts, all of your invoices that were written off for tax credits, and then also your sales tax liability if you're selling physical products. So all of that data can be pulled out in organized format.
Okay, awesome. Because this is so much easier to invoice out of than it is through QuickBooks. And I cannot tell you how many times I've forgotten to do it.
Gotcha.
I haven't, taken the payment at the right time, or I haven't. So this would be a lot easier because we're already in this looking at those customers.
Yep. So let me show you another thing here. If we go back to the dashboard. So now you'll notice that the dollar sign is now green.
Yep.
Because it's been paid.
Awesome.
So if you click on Dental Hygiene Haven, that'll take us straight to that customer's record. Let's see. Give me 1 second.
No problem.
Okay, so can you click where it says Reset Password at the top?
Oh, sorry. So once you send in that password.
So this is resetting the password for the user so that they can log into their account on your website. Okay.
Gotcha.
And then if you can go up to the top and hit the reload symbol for the page. Yep, you got it.
All right, Craig, I'll just call you tomorrow to check it, right?
Okay, so over in the top right there above Account Insight, it says Login as Buyer.
I would log in if you get a chance today.
Go ahead and hit Continue. So what we're doing now is we're actually seeing Vicky's login screen when she comes to your website to log in. See at the top it says Hello Vicky. So this is where she can edit her address for mailing, she can change her password, she can edit her email address so that in the future when you send more invoices, she gets them at the correct place. Also notice she has an order history there at the bottom, so she can actually see all of her own invoices and print them out herself if she forgets or wants to get all the past invoices for last year for tax purposes. Now, another thing that you can do is when you have your AllProWebTools set up correctly for recurring payments, right where it says Tracking Not Shipped, right next to that will be a button that says, send me this every month. It's a button that will allow them to repeat the order on a regular cycle. And once they hit the repeat the order button, they can choose to have it repeated every day, every 15 days, every week, every month, however you want it done. So if you wanted to bill this customer every month for that $225 plan, you could come in here and hit that button and set it up for a 30-day recurring cycle.
Got it.
But you don't have, in order to do that, you have to have a credit card account that'll allow you to charge people's credit cards on a regular basis. Are you using anything to charge credit cards right now?
I use PayPal right now. That's what I'm using for merchant services. So.
Okay.
But I'm open to, especially now that I have, because it's been working fine for just the, I maybe use it, half a dozen times a quarter. Most of my clients just send me a check.
Okay.
But on this reoccurring piece, I would like to be able to have that as an option for people. And that's why the rates are higher, doing it monthly, so that I can incorporate for those merchant service fees. So.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And I can tell you, statistically, they've proven that the company will generate more revenue by having an auto billing that pulls right off of a credit card or directly out of a checking account, as opposed to forcing the client to write you a check every month. Eventually, they'll kind of get tired of it. They'll go, why do I have to keep paying for this? But when it just kind of auto drafts, the chances of them canceling a subscription are much less. So,
out of mind.
Yeah, exactly. And PayPal is great for small charges when you're kind of getting your company off the ground. But there are more industrial level credit card processors who actually have lower fees on the long term. They're going to be more expensive for just 1 and 2 charges a month, but they're going to be cheaper on the long term. So the one that we recommend is Merchant Warehouse. And whenever you'd like, I can send a message to them and let them know that you're an AllProWebTools client and you're going to be interested in talking to them about getting a credit card merchant account that would integrate with AllProWebTools. And they would call you. I mean, if I did it today, they'd call you by the end of the day. They're just going to ask some basic information and then they'll quote you a rate. And once you get that set up, if you go back to where it says Contact Management at the top, and go to Settings, Payment Methods.
These settings?
Yeah, and then Payment Methods. So click at the top where it says Credit Card. So you can see on the top right it says Merchant Warehouse.
Oh, yeah.
So you would just put in the credentials that they provide to you once they authorize your account. And they're really good about getting the money directly in your bank accounts within 2 days. You don't have to, like in PayPal, you have to click a button to send the money over. And PayPal has all these limits on what you can send and all that. Merchant Warehouse just does it automatically
for you.
4 days. Yep.
Okay. Awesome.